Eritrean President Isaias Afewerki says the country's achievement could be attributed to the self-reliance citizens embraced during the struggle to gain independence from neighboring Ethiopia 21 years ago. In a one-on-one interview with VOA's Peter Clottey, the president noted that his government inherited a completely broken-down infrastructure, but now Eritreans feel proud of all the nation's improvements.
This country was not only a destroyed infrastructure, but nowhere to start. Build an economy, agriculture, food security, manufacturing, clean water, electricity, and good transportation and communication. How do you achieve that? Just from scratch, jump to somewhere and say I've achieved something? These were the real challenge. And the real challenge was, do you have the resources for doing it? You may aspire to achieve some goals, but definitely you need resources to do that. And that was serious for us. The external challenge was so many problems, regional, international problems, even in terms of implementing programs, the disparity of our approach to addressing issues. Say, for example, do we go for aid to build our economy and build a capacity for sustainable growth, or find our own ways and options for doing that? That external challenge was always there. In spite of the security challenge we have faced the last 15 or so years, which has been a very it's been a learning experience for us. Major achievement after 21 years is we have been able to create a very solid foundation for the development of this country.
You mentioned food security. Can you say that Eritreans, or for that matter, Eritrea has food security, that it doesn't need foreign aid to feed its people and all that?
That's the problem in Africa. It's not here in Eritrea, and the way you ask the question always puzzles me, because is the alternative for us aid, and we just simply compare things? If we don't have it, then we'll have to get it from someone. I mean, why can't we think of generating our own resources and capacity to solve this problem? How do we guarantee food security? It involves water and soil conservation programs, extensive infrastructural programs, human resource development, education, health. It's a product or a result of so many endeavors in a number of sectors, and finally you guarantee. When you guarantee food security, it means you've been able to put in place an infrastructure for development.
Mr. President, what would you say has been the measures you put in place without, you talked about without aid? Eritrea has been able to achieve certain benchmarks of guaranteeing food and development. How did you do it?
It's a very dynamic process. It takes time, but you need to know the basics. The basics are mobilizing the population, preparing them at least morally and emotionally, and finally developing the skills and the capability to implement and make the program successful.
Let's go back to the starting of Eritrea, where you led your people to independence and all that. Your critics say that you had ideals and you rallied the people around you to achieve Eritrea's independence. They talked about the ideals of Eritreans expressing themselves without any fear of retribution, the Eritrea's constitution, Eritreans participating in the governance of their people. Some of them are saying, the critics say, some of those ideas seem to have been lost. What is your reaction to statements like that?
It's not anyone having ideals about something. I mean, we are human beings. Anyone coming and telling that, I would say, it's an insult to my intelligence. I am a product of the process I lived, and I have developed my own thinking in this practical process, in that environment. I don't come and drop from the skies with ideals in my head. I want to practice or even implement them on the ground. And these are stereotypes for people who live in the unreal world, who think that other people don't have heads, they don't think, they come up with emotions, they have certain stereotypes, they categorize you in one or the other group. It's not as simple as that. It's more complex than that. And any human being is a product of his process. I'm a product of this process. Every citizen in this country is a product of this process. Ultimately, what brings us together is the collective experience we have had, the shared values that we have developed over a very long period of time. It's not someone preacher coming from outside and telling us something that he has in his mind and we follow.
Now on Tuesday, that's tomorrow, on In Focus, we'll have part 2 of Peter Clottey's one-on-one interview with Eritrean President Isaias Afewerki. Mr. Afewerki will address criticism by international media organizations that his country lacks press freedoms. That's tomorrow, right here on In Focus.